Tim is headed out into the pen right now to hazen this little red roan filly. Her name is Metallic Jag Dollar, and of course she's out of a Jag filly that we've raised and a metallic dog stud.
So as you can see, she's pretty gentle from the start and very curious. I don't think I've ever had that flag around her at all, and you notice how she's kind of sniffing it and, you know, not afraid at all, more curious than anything. And that's one thing I really appreciated about that dock horse. He's real kind of a curious horse and not afraid of anything. Now as I'm putting this horse in the pen here, you'll notice like that might seem like a crazy way to kind of haze her in, but there's kind of a reason for that, and that is I don't want to discourage her from being curious and kind of coming right up to me. See how she's just not being afraid to come up to me. And what I'm thinking on this is, like later on, I'm going to take a hold of her by the bridle or the halter or something like that. And I don't want her to be afraid of it. I want her to be able to feel it and have a sense that she's safe there. In the past, I probably would have been more kind of wanting to get her away from me sooner than that, to kind of get a response. But as I've gotten older, and more experienced, I've kind of learned to appreciate letting them to be more curious and realizing that's very important. In the past, I kind of left that out and got right to getting him to moving and getting to speed, and then I'd have to go back and try to get him to slow down, and so that's just something I've learned that's really been helpful. Now once I've got her in the pen here, first thing I'm gonna put the halter on, but I want to have it to be to where it goes on real smooth and she's ready. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of get acquainted with her and get her soft, and to where if I can, just put the halter on and kind of let it be her idea, instead of me coming in there with an agenda that, I want to get this halter on you so we can get going. No, it's just let me get you ready to where you're kind of thinking maybe putting this halter on would be a good idea for you too, and it'll be nice and quiet. So
Can I back you up for a minute?
Sure.
This is a filly who probably, if we would have opened the gate and walked in front of her, she probably would have just followed us right in. That's how curious she is. Why would you choose not to just have her follow you in instead of doing it the way that you did?
You know what, in a certain other situation that might have been meant better. That's just kind of where I was, and so I used the place where I was to my advantage. Walking her in would have been a great idea too. There's a lot of different ways of doing things, and it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you kind of got a plan and you're gaining something useful.
Is what I was really wanting to point out there also was this filly seems to kind of do exactly what 20 years ago I would have been like, oh yes, everything's so easy with her. This is great. And I've kind of changed my thinking on that. So when I saw you working with her, moving her in the way that you did, you were really putting some pressure and relief on her coming in that was good to see. She learned something from that right from the get-go instead of just following you.
Yeah, it's a good point. Once I've here I'm just kind of positioning my body to where she's yielding away from me. See her now. Switched eyes. I'm going around here on this other eye, and so she's yielding away from me, and then kind of going around. Just a little pressure on that halter to kind of keep her centered around me, basically. The size of the pen We talked about this a lot in a couple of the videos, but it's just really important to have them in a pen where they can kind of stay organized. So right here, I just dropped that rope because I felt like she was going to kind of get herself into a bind. And if I was outside or someplace else and I dropped the rope like that, she might have kind of took off running across the yard and that rope kind of dangling behind. Maybe she would have got herself hurt or scared and decides the process of trying to regather her up. But I didn't have anything to lose by dropping that rope, and I did have a little bit to lose by holding on to it. So again, that's a good example of why maybe a smaller pen like this is a good way to keep them organized.
Tim found a good spot to go ahead and end his day right here with Dollar. I leaned across her back to take the halter off. She was really nice and settled, and you could just tell it was a really nice time to end the day with her. So we'll get ready for another day tomorrow.
So this is the beginning of the second day that I've haltered her, and she's quiet enough to I can just put the halter on right there in the pan, don't have to come into the crowding pen or anything. And so we're just going to start from here. Originally I was thinking of taking her into that pan, and being she's so quiet, I decided to just kind of work her in this pan here where she's got a little bit more room. I'll direct her into the pan, but I'm going to take her right back out again. I'm just kind of giving her someplace to go. Here, just kind of thinking of places to go and things to do with her. I'm just going to direct her out, and we're going to go someplace. There, here she's got a little bit more room, so when she goes, I'm not going to discourage her. I'll just kind of keep up from behind, and so that she's comfortable moving and realize that I'm just coming along with her and kind of build on that. I use that PCV pipe I've got there to kind of guide her. There again, pushing her and guiding her with that, using the halter just as a little cue and having that pipe as a follow through. It makes it pretty simple to kind of guide them around.
Seems like at this point, she's what we would call kind of a sticky horse. She just isn't wanting to move her feet.
Yeah, she's so quiet and so gentle. It's not like I've ever asked her to do anything. I've never asked her to speed her up or anything like that. So it kind of innocently, she's just kind of, there's no reason for her to be excited about anything. And at this point, it's all right. But I'm a little concerned with it, as from my experience, if I don't get this problem solved, if I don't get her to kind of wake up and get more excited about doing things, and I kind of got to force her to go all the time, I'm going to kind of run into some issues. She's going to kind of resent me, and the whole the feeling that I'm getting from her and the amount of fun that she's having with these lessons is just going to go less and less. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. In the future, I kind of need to balance that. Here I'm kind of going to pushing her hip over, and you can kind of see how there's kind of some issues starting to develop here. I'm kind of asking her just to move over, and she's kind of getting a little bit resentful there. And yeah, see, that's just not going good, and at this point I can make a decision, and one would be maybe to follow through with that, and the other thing would be I'm just going to let's go do something different. That's not working out for us right now, and so let's go do something different. I can kind of tell you're not in the mood for that, but so we'll change our agenda here a little bit to fit your preference. That's just fine. So it's just something real important to kind of to realize that can work really to your advantage.
One other thing, when we were taking this video, right afterwards, you told me that she wasn't ready for that yet either. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I kind of guessed that she probably, if I pushed on her hip, she would just kind of yield over and yield to me. And when I did, it didn't work out. But it's so in a way, I kind of investigated and kind of found out where she was at. So I'm definitely not going to call it like a mistake, but I do have some follow through to do with it. And here I am. I'm kind of pushing on her. I kind of want to have her give her the impression to kind of yield to that. And there you might say, well, she didn't yield because she didn't take a step, but she did soften to me, and she gave a smaller yield than maybe some of you could see, but I could feel it. So that's kind of something important too, is making the increments of yield smaller, so that you realize that they actually did give when you might not have thought they did. Here, as I'm kind of closing down on this session, I'm just kind of getting her kind of prepared to kind of, when I tip her head side to side, she does, and I give her a little direction with the lead rope, and I kind of use my body there to kind of help her find her way back. I just want to get her so I can bend her and
She
get her
seems
soft.
to me like she has a lot more shape right now to her. Her back isn't as flat, and she's not tossing her head up in the air.
Yep, that's a good point. When things are going good, that top line looks real good, and it's real soft, and it's something to be really aware of. So that's the end of the session for today. We'll start again tomorrow, but the agenda for tomorrow is going to be to give her some more room so she can start to have some fun.
At the very beginning of this video, when she took off, kind of trot and run into the end of the pen, if you would have stopped her and pulled on her right then, it seems like maybe that would have been going against what you were wanting to get accomplished with her today.
Yeah, I wanted her to feel good about going. You just get out there and go, and I'll catch up with you. I didn't want to discourage something positive there. So here's the beginning of the third day, and again, it's really easy now at this point to put the halter on. That's real simple, and now I'll guide her into the round pen, where she has a lot more room. The way I guide them in there, I don't lead them yet. I can't lead her yet. She doesn't know anything, but so I kind of direct and send her, and that works out pretty well. In the beginning of the session here, I always start out just with simple things, and this is something old Buck Brannaman used to call it layups. Like when you're playing basketball, you always warm up and you do the layups. And this is one of the things that's just really important, is getting them hips to yield. And I'll talk about that a lot in a lot of different sessions, but it has a lot to do with that top line. If those hips don't yield, you'll start getting into lots of problems, but there's a lot to talk about with that eventually. Now I just sending her out, and I want her to just get out there and have some fun, and I'll try to keep up with her.
Speaking of keeping up, are there some different ways that someone might be able to achieve the same results without being that close to them, or being pulled around? I probably would have ended up face first in that mud puddle in the middle of the round pen if I would have been on the end of there. So what are some other strategies people could use if they don't want to do it this way?
Yeah, that's a good point. I felt confident enough in my skills that I could keep up with her, and with that short a lead rope, but you could turn her loose, and that'd be a great way to do this too. You could kind of get the life up, but you wouldn't have to kind of keep her organized with that lead rope, because that's, in a way, I'm gaining some things with it, but it's kind of tough to manage. But
Would you also have a longer lead rope?
A longer lead rope could help too. In a way, and sometimes they're difficult to work too because of the length. But you can see how she's perking up here now, and she's starting. This is fun. She's enjoying it, And sometimes when she's pulling on me just a little bit there, it's searching at the end of that halter. She looks like a drama queen, like there's a lot happening, but really it's all good. I'm feeling happy about it. She's barely getting pulled on. She just, like I said, she's kind of dramatic about it, but it's good experience.
One thing you'd want to be careful of, I noticed one time when we first started her going around, she kind of kicked up like she might try and kick at you. If that happens, I think it's kind of a normal thing, but how would you handle that?
Absolutely. At this point, she's just kind of playing. Later on, if I'd address it differently, but there's a risk in doing this too, being that close. So if you're concerned about getting kicked, you might want to try a different procedure. But I was willing to take that. If she would kick at me, it's not a big deal. She's small, but here I'm just kind of winding down after we've kind of had some excitement. We went around there half a dozen times, and it all went good. We cut out a bunch of it, but it all went real good. And now I'm kind of winding her down a little bit and practicing rehearsing some quiet things. I try to review everything she knows up to this point every day so far, and then add another thing or two to her little toolbox of things that she knows every day. And it's a good way to learn.
So Tim, I can see that she's moving her feet much more freely and her body's looking softer. How will you know when it's time to actually start leading her forward?
Well, if I was really wanting to get her to lead up, it'd be simple enough to do. I'd probably, especially if I had you behind me or something like that, we could get her going and lead real good. But I got a lot of things to teach her without that, but when I do ask her to lead, what I don't want her to do is just kind of teach her that when I pull on her, she just kind of braces and gets dead in the feet. And
so you were actually moving her backwards right there. Why are you moving her backwards instead of forward?
I was teaching her how to back up. I loosened her hips up a little bit, and then got her kind of ready. And so then when she backed up, you notice that when she did, she was soft in the face and soft in the top line, and the backup went real smooth. And so that's kind of basically the way I want to lead her forward too. It'd be the same way. I want to have her all ready. Like there, she's leading forward just a little bit. She's coming with me, and it's just a building block, and I'll get more. She's saying to me now, I said, you know what, that was fun. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us today.
So long for now.